Broken Hill has this unique relationship, as you said, with cars and bikes. I read once that back in the 50s, Broken Hill has the highest number of motor vehicles per head of population anywhere in the world, second only to Detroit in the US, which is the home of car making.
Well, you can drive up and down the lanes around town and pop your head over fences and you'll be surprised how many cars are sitting in back sheds and backyards just sitting there having nothing done to them.
At least 50% of Broken Hill cars are modified in one single way. It's all for guts and glory, pretty much. You know, like it's whose car's fastest, whose car's loudest, whose car's got the biggest rims. Like it's all for fun.
I'm a Holden man, yep, all the way through, yeah. First car I owned was a HD Holden, and continued to own Holdens ever since.
Oh, Ford, definitely. That was bred into me. That's part of my genetics.
Classic bike scene in Broken Hill is amazing for the size of the population, for the size of the community. Display in Broken Hill every 3 or 4 years is the equal of anything you'd ever see in the world, both in terms of the rareness of the machines, quality of the machines, and the quality of the restorations. And it's a product of Broken Hill's isolation. Now, because we're isolated, those bikes remained here, and because we're in a hot, dry climate, there wasn't the humidity or the moisture to seriously damage those bikes. So they were naturally preserved. The first bikes that I acquired was a 1937 Norton. Oh, it had been laying in the back of an old ute for maybe 40 years. And so that was my first restoration. And from that, that's where the passion grew. One of the beautiful things about classic British motorcycles, they all have their own character, their own idiosyncrasies. You're doing manual advance and retard, you're changing hand gears, you know, you've got hand throttles. You're like a one-armed man playing a poker machine. You're just, you're really busy.
I'm a heavy vehicle mechanic. I work for a mining company up here. At the moment, I'm working on an 81 XD Falcon. I've been working on it now for just under 9 months. This is my first solo one, and I've helped out on a fair few. So it's terrifying, you know, you've got to, every time you crank that engine, you've got to think of every nut and bolt that you've put in there, every screw, every electrical component, everything that could possibly go wrong, you have to be prepared for it.
Well, the wife and I brought this one, back in, I reckon it's about 96. It actually catches the eye now because of the bonnet more than anything. One of the boys that was in the car club said to me he'd like $1 for every photo that was taken of it. He's my hero. I met him back in '79 when he came through with the Australian Safari. He's actually driven the car and I've chauffeured him around in it. Funniest thing is, for all the years we've known each other and met, we've only ever had one photo taken together.
We want to build something to go to the salt. Do you build a car or do you build a motorbike? Well, it's easier to build a motorbike. But if you're going to have a motorbike, then it should really have a car engine. Hence what you see on the wall. It's 2 long pieces of steel with a Leyland aluminium P76 engine put in the middle to a automatic gearbox through to a R200 independent rear end. It's been welded up to a sprocket to drive the rear wheel.
You don't do it if you weren't doing it for a reason. You know, some people say, oh, I just built a car because I want a car. No, you build a car because you want to take it somewhere and everyone goes, wow, look at that. You know, it's the jaw drop, the eyes pop.
It's a very rewarding pastime, hobby, if you want to call it that. I mean, because you actually take stuff that is effectively deceased and you bring it back to life.